YouTube, what's going on? It's your boy Buddha back in the building, and today we have a very exciting last Cloudia video. At least I'm very excited for it. We are going to begin the journey and the process of awakening Lougseus, the god of ruin, to his 5th star potential. Now this video may be filmed in multiple parts just because I'm not sure of the exact material requirements that will be needed to get him to 5 star, unlock the rest of his board, and then get him to level 110. Not that I don't know all the requirements, I just don't know how long it will take me. But I wanted to get this captured on camera, which is the initial enhancing of this beast to 5 stars. You can see we have the level 100 requirement. We've got the materials ready to go, and I'm excited to get my first 5 star enhanced character. Shall we do it? It's only right that we activate this with the curse mark arm for 1,000,000 gold. We grinded up some talons right before this just because I've been using them on enhancing some Godforge equipment. But now we can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And look at that. Sounding like a beast. Voice. Don't want to interrupt him. It's the voice actor of Aizen. Gotta show respect. There's that 5th star. Look at that beautiful blue. And it feels good. Look at those things, bro. Look at him. Look at them. They look so clean, I must say. And there you go. Unlock ability board 108 to 120. Let's see what we got here. Hop. Look at that gold hue as it expands even further. Very, very cool looking. I'm actually going to jump in and see what I can unlock now and see if I want to save everything and unlock it all at the same time, or what the deal is here. And we are back. Okay, a little later than when I first recorded the beginning of this video, but we are here with Lougseus, the god of ruin, ready to unlock the final node on his ability board. I think I left this one right over here for last. Sword Raider, we've got the clusters that we need. So we're going to go ahead and unlock the final one. Boom, there we go. Now we can see his final board is unlocked. I haven't unlocked his ward. It gives an extra 100 damage cap to all dark attacks for the entire account. It's an account-wide thing. And if you want to consider this not making him 100% done, I don't blame you at all. But we're going to save on that, because this is particularly to show the potential of Lougseus. If you get plus 100 damage cap on him, good for you, but it's not going to significantly change the impact of his performance. So there we go. I actually want to take a different approach to these character overviews now, and kind of look at a larger scope of what these characters offer at certain points in their development. So I kind of want to start off each of these now by showing the character in their raw form, without any extra additions, without any extra arc skills, without any extra crazy equipment to make them look even better. I want to show, if you started the game today, pulled him, grinded up the means to max him out and get everything unlocked, what would Lougseus look like at base? So that's where we're going to start in this showcase, and then we're going to get fun and crazy with a couple of builds that I recommend and that I run personally on Lougseus. So here we go with the first showcase of what Loug is capable of with the most free-to-play friendly build I think I can possibly do on Lougseus. You can see that the arc I'm running is actually an R arc. This is Geist Training Mountain, and I really wanted to take an arc that I think can actually be useful for very, very, very early game players. Something that you can get to arc level 10 relatively easily because the soul cost is just so much less than upgrading your SSRs. This is also something that you're going to want to upgrade anyway, so you can take advantage of attack up max and your attack up Fast Brave is even going to be useful in a lot of situations. So Geist Training Mountain is one of your core arcs for not only your training skills, but I think it could be useful for very, very early players because of its attribute. If there are 4 or more enemies, you get plus 20% to your strength. You recover HP when you defeat a human enemy, and at battle start, you boost strength up to 3 times. Since I'm going to be showing Lougseus in what I believe is his best role, which is physical DPS, this arc seems to go great with him because you're going to want to be upping his strength stat more than his int, even though he kind of scales off both. Lougseus is really an interesting character because of how hybrid he is in everything that he comes with. But I think for the purposes of showing off some damage at a very free-to-play friendly route, this is actually a very decent arc to run early on before you get your big endgame arcs leveled up some more. And as far as equipment goes, we can look there. I'm starting with 2 pieces of equipment that are 3-star, or I'm sorry, a 2-star and a 3-star, things that you pick up super early in the story. Actually, that Driftstone right there is actually interesting to me because damage dealt to airborne enemies plus 15%. It's almost like a pseudo sky high skill, which is a very good damage multiplier. I believe it's plus 20% damage to airborne enemies. So Lougseus in his S2 and S3 pick the enemy up in the air. So right there we can snag plus 15% extra damage, which is great. And then Royal Bracelet, like I said, one of the first pieces of equipment that you're going to pick up gives him an extra little 5 to his attack, which is nothing. You're going to be replacing these things the first chance that you can, but for the purposes of the most free-to-play friendly kind of showcase I'm trying to pull off, this is what we're rocking. And looking at the skills, all I'm rocking are the skills that Lougseus comes with. So you can see the spells that are innate in his kit right here. We'll be taking advantage of those. His passive skills, as we can see, he gets the attack up and magic up maxes. Another reason that Geist Training Mountain, I think, works well, it synergizes well with Lougseus' natural kit, is because it comes with Human Slayer. So he's going to be dealing extra damage to your humans. That's your soldiers, your knights, your sorcerers, and snipers. Okay, so those are the different classes of enemies that you can potentially face. So boom, right there, he's not only dealing extra damage, but Geist Training Mountain's going to be giving him that extra healing and extra whatever else it gives. Special boost just to boost those Slayer damage multipliers. And he comes with auto critical, auto regen, auto advanced circles, auto recast, dark high boost, and dark drive. He's such a blend naturally of both physical DPS and casting capabilities. Not necessarily just magic DPS, but his utility in casting as well. The fact that he comes with auto recast, auto advanced circle, dark high boost, which is a magic damage multiplier only. Then he comes with the dark attack raises 1 and 3, as we can see. This is the first time we've seen an elemental raise 3 that also boosts your damage cap. So very cool to see. He comes with Spirit Breath, a movable object, high level magic chant, also huge casting skills right there. Thaumaturgy Ring, which converts some of his int into physical attack power. Blessed Speed for some extra movement speed, ultimate boost 2. Sharp Eyes and Magic Aura, which are the 50% damage multipliers for extra MP usage in both your physical and magic DPS area. Rapid Recovery to reduce ailment time on him. God Armor we're actually going to see him take advantage of in this first battle because naturally he can't equip any weapons. Later I'll show you how you do get weapons on Lougseus, and we won't actually be taking advantage of this ability here, but for the purposes, if you don't have any weapon equips available to you, God Armor is a fantastic skill early game, and even in PvP it's going to serve you very well. And then Destroyer God right there, continual strength plus 35%, physical damage minus 35%, just a cracked ability. So Lougseus, he's very good. I'm actually very excited to see what he looks like bare naked in this fight right here with such low tier stuff on him, because I'm quite excited. I know he's got a pretty nice damage cap that we should be hitting pretty easily since we are facing enemies that aren't too bulky and we're single wielding, which will show us bigger numbers much earlier on, especially when you're early game. So let's go ahead and check out these enemies just so you get an idea. We've got the two soldiers, Imperial Superior. They do have minus 50 resistance to Dark, so Lougseus is going to be hitting them especially hard. Imperial Superior right there. And then Galbor, Leader of 1,000 Men, actually has 50 Dark resistance, so we probably will see some heavy damage mitigation there. Other than that, it's just going to be kind of a slow game, waiting for his skills to charge up since we're not using any extra abilities from any arcs. You can see we're starting at 0 skill stock, 0 nothing, and we're subject to the skill charge time at this point. So let's go ahead and target one of the Imperial Superiors, and there we go. We're getting some crits of normal attacks. Not too bad in the 2000s, we can see there. So let's see. We're gonna get this first Sword Raider, pop it off, and we're hitting. Granted, they have minus 50 resistance to Dark, so they're especially weak to Lougseus in this case. But we saw those damage caps of 21,999. This is a naked Lougseus, guys. All right. I want to see what that S1's going to do to Galbor with a 50 resistance to Dark. Not nearly the same numbers, but still respectable. 6,000 to 7,000 still can get the job done here. Let's go ahead and launch a World's End where I can actually see the damage. So on this guy right here, big damage numbers, guys. For an early game player to be hitting even single hits of 21,000 plus is insane. So let's hit a God Impact, which is his bread and butter of a skill because it's this giant 16 hit nuke. And that came with 24,499 damage cap because his S3 actually does have its own damage cap raise as well. Yeah, naked Lougseus, very impressive. I mean, we're melting these soldiers. We're melting the soldiers, especially because they're weak to Dark. Don't forget that. But even Galbor, he's going to take a little more to actually defeat since he has that 50 resistance to Dark. So our damage is much more mitigated against him. But again, like with how tanky this team is, and I mean, we're having no trouble surviving. Like I said, we're not fighting particularly difficult enemies. Here we go. Let's hit him with one of those beautiful S3 nukes. And it looks like our speed is pretty heavily lowered right there. Got ourselves a nice little item drop. All that's left is Galbor, who does have the most HP out of all of them. And he's got that Dark resistance, so it's especially difficult for us to take him down with no help from any skills or anything. I believe he also guards. Like we're seeing him guard, which also lowers our damage down just even more so. But Lougseus has no problem staying alive right now, especially because Galbor in this stage, even there, getting into the tens of thousands, I'm fairly impressed with Lougseus right now. I've never actually taken a unit with no add-ons to him, and so this is quite an experience, even for your boy Buddha. I'm very impressed, I must say. I mean, it doesn't compare to the play style of more endgame builds when you start getting those crazy skills from Arks on characters, and you can just take advantage of massive bonuses to everything damage-wise, utility-wise, skill charge-wise. But even for a new, I'm trying to think of when I first started this game. If I could have launched an S3 like that and done this kind of damage, it's just insane. So let's go ahead and look at his S4 and see what we can do. I think this is a kill because it about 2,500 average per hit right there, and 88 hits in Lougseus' ultimate. We easily took care of the last remaining bit of Galbor's health. So man, what a jit, bro. What a jit. So there is about as fresh out of the box as we can see Lougseus performing. Granted, I'm not taking on a crazy difficult stage. God mode stages, they're not typically difficult in the sense of like figuring out mechanics and being able to receive damage. It's more so that the enemies have massive HP pools. They can be a bit tanky, so you need the attack. You need the offense to finish them off before the battle feels like a complete drag and not fun at all. Lougseus definitely hits the mark in DPS at base. Okay. Now I want to actually show you something a little crazy. Something that I knew was possible because of tweaks, right? During his initial testing, I mean, weeks ago when Lougseus first came out, this was something he did very quickly, and it takes your boy Boot a little longer to do since we just got Lougseus up there. But I want to show the same stage, right, at complete base. Lougseus took a little bit to take down. Now I want to show what end game looks like. We are using some limited things, so don't crucify me. I am using the UR Ark. My goal here was to put as much damage on top of Lougseus as possible. So we have all my damage cap raising equipment, which is all free to play acquirable. Scarlet Blade is just going to take you however many summons you're going to need to do to build up Crimson Ore before you can purchase it in the shop. However, the Hail Sovereign's Ring is a multiplayer grind of a ring. It does take a while to get, don't get me wrong, it is not a fun grind, but it is something you can get. And then Phantom Tower Key, of course, you get as the Ark Ether reward from the LR Ark Phantom Tower by beating the Tower of Trials. Trishula, you gotta throw on Lougseus to just completely mitigate that dark resistance when it comes into damage calculating. It doesn't completely 100% nullify the dark resistances of an enemy. It just takes out their dark resistance from being a factor in their damage mitigation altogether. So here is the setup right there. Then of course we do have the UARC on him to get that extra plus 3,000 damage cap. And we have Medine here, who is also pretty much at base. I have no equipment on her. I do have the Pirate's Battle Flag because it gives us plus 20% extra damage for 10 seconds at the start of battle. And then of course we have her here for her trait, which is Distant Seaway. Battle start, all allies recover 10, blah, 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 blah. But then also physical damage cap plus 2,000. That's a buff that's active for 40 seconds just by running Medine on your team, which is absolutely insane. Medine, incredible DPS and support, really, because of that. And then I am running Gen for the glass record spam. We're going to do something special here. I'm going to 2-tap the stage that you just witnessed. Just because of how crazy it is, I just want to show it off in this in this showcase. Since we kind of did a Lougseus general showcase at 4-star, you know, not much has changed for him except he deals more damage. That's pretty much it. Once you get his extra 12 nodes unlocked, you get extra stats on top of him from getting from 100 to 110. He just deals more damage. It's just that simple because all of his skills get extra multipliers that make him stronger, and he gets an extra 30% extra dark damage and cap from that Dark Attack Raise 3 skill. So here in this 5-star showcase, I just want to get crazy. We saw at pure base, now we're going to see like kind of a true end game build. Couple limited things, not in his actual build though. If we browse the skill set, the spells are the same there. Here I just have some attack ups on him. I have some critical ups. Proud Force you do have to equip to him manually. There are the weapon equip skills that you will have to use. You'll have to get them from Arks in order to teach them to Lougseus in order for him to equip any type of weapons that you'd like. I put Dark Attack Raise 2 on him, which is from another arc that I can't recall off the top of my head. Sky High is the skill I mentioned in the beginning of this video. Dual Wield to equip both of those weapons that you saw earlier. Sword Boost, Sword High Boost, incredible skills for the damage multiplication. They give you Machine Boost just because we have Trishula equipped. Skill Charge 1 and 2. And which honestly we don't need for this exact situation that I'm going to show, but just I have the extra SC and Berserker for another plus 30% damage, right? In this particular instance, we're trying to maximize his damage like crazy, so that just includes throwing as many damage multipliers as possible on him. Okay, so here's the plan. We're going to start this stage off. We're going to kind of just sit still. I'm going to activate his Charisma, and then we're going to glass record spam until we get all the stocks of his S3. So let's go to Magic, cast his Charisma, go to Gen, immediately cast glass record. We can do this again, just a Magic cancel. Like I said, we're going to cast glass record until we get max skill stocks on Lougseus. There's one. Let's try again. Alright, here is the final one. We've got 2 of his God Impacts ready. Now we're going to use Black Hole to group them all to the center. And I'm going to show you why Lougseus Endgame is the best DPS in the game. There just is no questions asked. Find another unit that can do what I'm about to show. So let's go ahead and let them get grouped up all together. I'm going to let the spell wear off. Do we have everyone in the middle here? No. What are you doing, Galbor? Why are you over here? Why are you over here, my friend? You should be over there with your other friends. There we go. Yeah, let's go ahead and target Galbor because I believe the other 2 are directly behind him. So, yeah, God Impact. Here we go. And almost 2-tapped it with the God Impact stage. If the enemies were actually close, like if they were all in one spot, I'm pretty positive we would have just decimated them. I could try again, but I think you just got the gist of it. 2 of his God Impacts, like I said, there's a reason I call it the Nuke of Lougseus, of the game. Because that kind of damage output that quickly is unheard of. We could have even taken it a step further and done some skill canceling. And you would have thought I was hacking the game with how fast these enemies would have been dying. So there is an absolute end game build and to showcase Lougseus's burst damage capability. Cool. And for the final part of this showcase, we are going to take Lougseus against an endgame world boss, Pablo, like I typically do. In this case, a bit different. I do have Medine here as support, and I also want to try and do some low-budget SCT healing, which consists of what Crypt coins Poor Man's Glass record. Since Lougseus comes with Spirit Breath in his kit naturally, we can take a character like Tyria, give her an AoE non-time stop heal skill, or spell I should say. In this case, Healing Wind is a great one, recovers HP to all allies, and just try and spam that in order to activate Lougseus' Spirit Breath consistently in order to charge up SCT when we want to. Granted, it will take a lot longer than if we had Glass Record, but I think it's only fair to show this strategy off because it's the only manual SCT recharge strategy that you can actually execute without having Glass Record in your account, which is a Dr. Stone Collab limited type of spell. So here we go. We know that more SCT charging spells are coming in the future per Barleen in the rough notes after the last Q&A that we saw in June, so that's something to look forward to, but we don't have it yet, so we're going with this strategy. A couple changes to Lougseus himself. You can see that the arc we're running is not his UR. I am bringing Icy Guardian, which is a general pool SSR arc. I have beaten to death why this is one of the best physical DPS arcs in the game. It pretty much lets you break damage cap without actually raising the damage cap, since it adds that ice extra attack to all your criticals, therefore giving you extra damage that you wouldn't have had there in the past by just doing your crits. It also actually increases your critical damage by plus 40%, which is cool. So you're going to guarantee damage caps on your crits, which Lougseus isn't struggling with to begin with, but it's also going to then add that extra damage on top of those criticals. Then it gives him just a nice little fire and ice resistance plus 20. Fantastic art to have just to maximize some DPS potential. People ask, what other good physical DPS arcs can I run? I try to stay in the SSRs that are on the general pool, so you have a better chance at pulling them at any time. Phoenix Blow is obviously great. It's a great breaking arc, but it's also good just normally because it gives a plus 25% to skill damage flat for whatever units it is equipped on. Swordsman Tail is something I haven't talked about much because I haven't had it until recently, but this is going to give you extra damage to boss type enemies up to plus 40%. It somehow scales off of the size of the enemy, which I'm not completely sure at what tiers it raises it by a certain amount. But it also boosts the unit's movement speed, and each wave damage used from your first skill plus 50%. That's kind of negligible. It might look cool, it might sound cool, but it's not going to help you in long-term fights. However, plus 40% to your bosses pretty consistently is going to be a massive W in regards to what kinds of arcs you can equip. Killing machines is something I forgot to mention. This is your budget Eldravana, which is the UR arc that's especially good for DPS units. This is going to give you some extra damage and extra strength. Just fantastic if you're looking for a general arc to run on top of your DPS, your physical DPS, mind you. Sword of Corpses is a popular one by a lot. Not one that I appreciate as much myself. But when a sword is equipped, which is going to be pretty ideal in Lougseus' case when you're using weapons on him to bring a sword, you get plus 3% crit rate and plus 30% to your crit damage, plus 2 curse resistance, which is great in situations where you want to avoid being cursed. But it boosts strength 4% when defeating an enemy up to 10 times, so you can get a plus 40% or 40% added to your strength. It's just not my preferred arc because you need multiple enemies in order for it to be the most efficient. And then criticals just aren't as appealing to me. Things that like increase your crit rate. Well, increasing your crit rate is nice, actually. Let me take that back. But like the biggest number here is that plus 30% to your critical damage, which when you're approaching endgame, your units are going to have no problem getting crit caps. So getting extra crit damage is not necessarily needed. At that point of endgame, you're going to be focused on increasing your natural damage, your base damage, your white damage. So anything that helps you with that, anything that's just a flat physical damage multiplier or even just addition to strength is going to be preferred, at least in my opinion. So Sword of Corpses, it's a great option still. Fantastic arc. Can't go wrong with it. But I feel like there are some other better options. Like I said, Icy Guardian is usually my #1 pick for most situations, as we are going to see here. Regarding Lougseus himself, just a couple changes. As far as the stat increases, I kept pretty consistent. By removing some skills, I saved some SC, so I gave him magic of 1. Of course, we have Proud Force. What's nice about this fight and Lougseus in particular is that he comes with not only Human Slayer, as I mentioned, but also Brute Slayer. He's got a total of 10 Slayers built into him, which is unheard of. We haven't seen that in a unit yet. But it automatically makes him effective against plants, so we don't have to put the skill Plant Slayer on Lougseus. He comes with that, comes with special boost, as we know. There are the weapon equips like we saw earlier. I did give him Awaken, right, because in this fight, when Pablo starts nuking, you want some survivability on your units. So I took off Dark Attack Raise 2 in order to save 15 SC and allocate it towards some of those skills. Pose of Glory, Pose of Honor for those extra Pablo mobs that he spawns. Sky High, Surprise Attack I have so that we can actually substitute some of that damage that we lost in Dark Attack Raise 2. Just by positioning Lougseus behind whatever Pablo we're fighting, we can get 50% extra damage there. Gave him Decoy just in case, right? Emergency situation, we need a revive. We've got it there, and those are really the only changes I made versus the last build that we looked at. In regards to equipment, I just kind of wanted to run Pure Blade Muramasa. There's not really a reason for me to swap out and lose the damage cap from Scarlet Blade, but just for the purposes of the showcase, I'm proud that we got Muramasa. Not quite to plus 40, only plus 14, but it still does a hell of a job. Physical attack damage plus 20%. With a 280 strength stat and the extra little defenses right there. And then I also gave him Zeal Tech God Core because I imagine we will drop below 50%, which will then proc a plus 15% damage increase for him. So we're losing out on some damage cap, but hopefully we'll be capping on our whites a little more consistently with this kind of setup. Either way, I don't think it would matter too much, but just wanted to mix it up slightly. And then, of course, like I said, the changes in support. I kept Medine there just to have that extra damage cap for running her. Right, I love Medine. I want to show her off what it's like just to have her on your team. We're actually going to lose Medine's damage cap. So actually, you know what? I might change this. We're going to take Medine out of the equation completely because it just clicked in my head that she's only a 40-second buff to the team. So for quick fights, she is OP. For a long drawn out fight like this, she's not going to shine as much. So we're just going with our boy Lougseus as main DPS. And we got Tyria there for the heals, for the damage mitigation, and the budget glass record spam. Let's attempt this stage right here and see what we can do to this boss fight. Alright, so we know we're starting with this guy right here. I'm going to activate his Charisma. Then I'm going to go to Tyria and start doing some walls so we can mitigate his damage. Flame Wall seems good. Boom, she activated that. Now let's do Grand Protection, because I believe this first attack that Pablo does is a physical type nuke. So boom, let's activate that. Boom, I think she's done there. And then actually I want to try and get a Healing Wind off pretty quickly. And then let's go ahead and just start autoing. See if we can get actually behind this Pablo. Here comes the nuke, which we should survive very easily. Not bad at all. There we go. We can get some of those off. And then we just keep spamming these Healing Winds and charging up that SCT. We can see that it is a much slower process without Glass Record. But it's still serving the purpose, right? We're seeing those jumps in skill stocks just by casting Healing Wind like that. So I'm all for it. All for it right there. Boom. All right, we've got one God Impact. So now I'm going to start launching off some skills. We can see a nice little damage cap of 22,000, 25,000 right there, because we were able to get behind Pablo. And look at that. Dude's already dead. That's the first Pablo. Just gone. Shredded. You can absolutely nuke this stage, which is an incredible showing that I did see Tweaks do. But, right, we're not trying to be so sweaty. We're going to keep casting those Healing Winds. I'm just going to try and spam skills as I get them at this point. I will need to probably activate a couple more damage mitigations soon with Tyria. But for now, let's just keep casting this Healing Wind and shredding these guys, which is an absolute wonder to see. Very, very fun. So here we go. I'm going to go ahead and God Impact you. Nuked Pablo. Done. Very nice. Let's go ahead and activate another Flame Wall. I should get some magic walls in there as well while we're at it. But here, let's do Grand Protection. Just to recast that. Just bullying these Pablos. 22,999 damage cap. Like I said, let's do a Healing Wind. It doesn't seem like Pablo's magic is much of a problem at this point. So I just want to get these skill stocks charged up. There we did see an actual spell from Pablo, but not too big of a deal. Let's see if I could I want to save that God Impact stock. So there we go. You are done, my friend. Let's see if I can do the freaking... I want to get these guys freaking targeting me. I can never seem to get the Pablos to follow my DPS when I want them to. So now we're going to go to you. Come on, guys. Feel free to follow me. Oh, it looks like one of them is. If I can get them grouped together. Oh, yes. This is good. This is good. So not quite both of them. I got one of them. To follow me. So let's see what we can do here. Tyria, do some Healing Winds for me. And let's see if I can nuke these two right here with God Impact. Yeah. Endgame Lougseus is something else. He's a different animal. He is absolutely insane. I don't know what to make of him. If you haven't seen what he can do, welcome to the show, because it's just something different. I mean, these are Pablos, right? Go back and watch some of my other unit showcases, and like units that were incredible in my eyes at the time. Then come back and look at this one. Yeah, we're just gonna keep casting Healing Winds. Let's go ahead and do a Flame Wall just to bring these back to full amounts. I'm going to try and position Lougseus behind this Pablo and start launching off skills, because we can do that. And here comes the first nuke. Yeah. Almost a half health already. We're going to probably get caught by one of his spells or not. No, we're just going to decimate you. Yeah, that's fine too. We're actually out of skill stock at this point, but this guy might get an attack off if I'm not able to charge these skill stocks quick enough. which seems to be the case, right? If we can get two more skills off right here, I think he's dead. Oh, I lied. We needed 3. If I would have had a God Impact, that would have been the end of it. But I believe we'll survive this nuke and just finish him off with some auto attacks. Because Lougseus is just not fair, guys. He really isn't. He actually did get another nuke off, but as long as I can get this S1, we should be good to go. He might kill us here, but we'll get that revive and just end the fight. Because it's just... You know what? I'm leaving this in. I am leaving this in just to say, never underestimate. Don't underestimate these bosses, guys. Because that can happen. He can just go into nuke mode and kill you. If I wouldn't have been greedy and popped the ultimate, we would have destroyed him. But there you go. If that didn't show off the capability of Lougseus' DPS, I don't know what will. I don't know what will. I'm leaving that in. You could comment F in the comment section because, man, that caught me by surprise. But don't get greedy with these endgame world bosses because it can be frustrating. I'm a little ticked off, but I'm kind of entertained. So I feel like the damage that Lougseus output in that showcase speaks for itself, right? For your endgame DPS needs. There's just nothing like this guy. He's a different animal. So there we go. Like Barlene said, this guy is pretty much the tip of the iceberg in regards to character potential that we're going to see for some time. You know, we'll revisit if the game hopefully will be up in the next year, right? Come the 3rd anniversary, we'll see what happens. But as Barlene stated, they're focused on a horizontal progression in game development. We've seen just this exponential increase in how crazy these characters are in all types of facets, support-wise, DPS-wise. Like every single showcase I've done of these new characters has just gotten better and better. But Barlene did say Lougseus is kind of the cream of the crop for the foreseeable future, which is good, right? You don't want just every character to be better than the last because then what's the point of investing in anything if you just want to get the next thing or else you're irrelevant. Hopefully that stays true. Lougseus being the first new unit that's immediately available to be 5-star enhanced speaks volumes. This showcase speaks volumes. If you get him, congrats. He does require a lot of setup, right? Like I said, you need weapon equips on him. You need the materials in order to get him all the way to this potential that we see in front of us. And like just end game equipment like I showed off, Muramasa, Scarlet Blade, multiplayer ring, some of these high level, or not high level, but SSR AERs that aren't just going to be readily available for you. It takes a lot to invest into this guy. Trishula is absolutely needed if you're going to be taking him into all aspects of the game, so then you don't have to worry about dark resistant enemies. So a lot of setup to bring him to this type of showing, but even without all that, we saw how crazy he is. So if you got him, congrats, you have one of the best characters in the game, hopefully to be one of the best, like just not much surpassing him in where he excels for a long time, just to keep him as special as he is at this current moment. Guys, we have a collab coming. I didn't even mention any of that because when I started this recording, we didn't know what we knew today, or know what we know today is the proper grammar. I did kind of watch the JP live stream and check out the imagery. I saw the sprites and the animations for the Full Metal Alchemist characters coming to the game in 3 days. We're going to be watching the global live stream tonight. I'm kind of avoiding Discord so I don't spoil myself too much. You know, people are going to be translating the skills and posting it up before the actual English live stream. So I'm waiting for that because I really do want some first reactions, some first impressions when I do that watch party live stream. But you know it's going to be fun. It's at 11 p.m. my time, so in about 11 hours actually is when that will be going live. So I hope you'll be able to make it because I can't wait to see all the stuff clarified officially in this live stream. I know it's going to be hype. When Last Cloudia does collabs, they do it right. And I am just very excited. I'm glad we got to see Lougseus, Buddha's build of Lougseus, and what I could do with him. I hope you enjoyed. I hope you are excited whether you have nothing but you have Lougseus, or if you are endgame, which you probably have been known the goodness of him already, right? Because I'm learning from you guys. But either way, you've got yourself a fantastic character. Kind of just insane to me. We got him leveled up, level 110, 5-star. Not quite 6-star and awakened, but he does the job at 4 stars. So a true beast. Absolutely incredible. Guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. Subscribe and hit that bell notification for any new Last Cloudia videos that your boy posts, and to be notified if you are new to the channel. If you are already subscribed but you haven't hit that bell notification, hit that so that YouTube will tell you when I go live for tonight's watch party. And I can't wait to see y'all there. Like the video if you are just blown away by this God of Ruin, rightfully titled. And that's all I got for you this time, guys. Y'all know what we say. Work hard, play harder. See you in the next video.